Wow, that's a strange question, actually. We're starting off with tough questions? No, not at all. I see MMA as a sport, just like soccer, volleyball, field hockey, or even curling. So first and foremost, it's a sport, and the fact that it's based on fighting, and the rules allow you to test yourself in the most open, permitted format, well, that's just how it is. No, it's a sport, really. No doubt about it. It's a sport where you have to be the best combat sports athlete in the world, because the world boxing champion, when he steps into the cage, is defenseless on his back. And to be the best in the world at MMA, you have to be able to do absolutely everything, strike well, kick, throw, apply submissions, have great cardio, and excellent speed in every aspect. I believe that combat sports are the best school, especially for young people. The best school when it comes to shaping character, and I think it would be hard to find that in other disciplines. Of course, all those aspects of learning fair play and competition from other disciplines are important, but combat sports are extremely demanding, and I think they have the greatest impact not only on physical development, general fitness, but above all on mental development. I am an example of this myself, and I also have many examples from the gym. When I saw how young people develop, often completely transforming their personalities by 180 degrees from the moment they first came to the combat sports gym to the moment after a few years when they left it. I wouldn't compare it entirely, although I think the adrenaline level when you get on a motorcycle and it's not just a scooter for delivering pizza on the back is something else. Although I've seen some guys riding those pretty hard, drifting sideways, so maybe that's not the best comparison either. But still, it's a bit different, a bit of a different kind of emotion and probably different demands as well. Because when you step into the cage, you always have an opponent and a referee who can step in to help if needed. When you get on a motorcycle, you really have to rely on your own skills, your level of concentration, and it also depends a bit on the environment. So the adrenaline, when you push a bit harder than just riding a 50cc scooter in the city, rises just as quickly as the moment you step into the cage and the doors close. But the endings are usually, well, they can be very different. I think, though, that victory by knockout tastes better than the feeling of coming back home safely, which is normal for all motorcyclists turning off the bike in the garage. I've always been a fan of two wheels, absolutely since childhood, when I watched some of my slightly wealthier friends get mopeds or Simpson scooters, and I always had a chance to ride them here and there, and it was an incredible thrill. Let's just say that my parents couldn't afford it, so I always just watched from the sidelines. Later on, when I was young, I would borrow motorcycles from my friends who had them and didn't make a big deal out of it, so I was able to take a bike and go for a ride. Because always, I don't know, just the awareness that you're getting on, that there's open space, I wanted to say, the wind in your hair. But first of all, I don't have much hair, and secondly, there's a helmet. That feeling was somehow irreplaceable, and let's say that throughout my sports career, I tried to avoid motorcycles so as not to risk an accident that could seriously halt my career. After ending my career, well, after that ending a few years ago, because now, of course, it's extended, I decided that it was time to finally bring a motorcycle home for good. And basically, well, I don't even know how long it's been, but that motorcycle is still here. I can't imagine everyday life without two wheels. And the biggest tragedy is winter, when you can't take the motorcycle out. I mean, you can, but let's be honest, riding on the cold tire isn't any fun, because I won't have time to warm it up before I reach my destination. But that's just how it is, I don't know. Motorcycles are now an integral part of my life. I can't imagine life without them, just like I can't imagine it without MMA. To find calm through excitement, however strange that may sound. But it really is the case that, apart from the fact that on a daily basis I move between gyms, television studios, or any other duties during the season, from basically the moment the snow melts until it falls again, I rack up quite a few kilometers, mostly in the city, although there's always one or two trips that come up. But damn, give me the question again, rewind it, because I lost my train of thought. That it calms you down through stimulation. Because the fact is, sometimes I even spend the whole day riding a motorcycle around the city for business. I come back, I don't know, I'm a bit tired, stressed, something pissed me off. I can get on the motorcycle at 11:30 at night, sometimes even at midnight. I live close to the Torunska route, so I can just pop out, twist the throttle, and since there's less traffic, let's say it's safer, but the awareness and especially the riding capabilities of this motorcycle and that feeling when the tire starts to slip a little and you really take off very quick, that's what calms me down. And when I come back home, you know, obviously the endorphins are still flowing. I go to bed with a smile on my face. So it's a strange way to unwind, but it's effective because in that one moment, you know, when you're going a bit faster than 50 kilometers per hour on that motorcycle legally, or maybe it's 80, I think it's 90 on the S8, that's cool. It's a really great feeling. Thank you very much. It was a short season, I won't deny it. It was a short season, at least as far as my time with the MT10 goes, because in June I had a motorcycle accident and unfortunately the bike took quite a hit. Then dealing with the insurance company delayed any quick repairs. But thanks to my cooperation with Yamaha, basically a week after the accident, I was already back on a motorcycle. I kept taking all sorts of replacement bikes just so I could keep riding because I didn't want to make a big drama out of it. It wasn't an accident caused by me. I ran into an idiot who was drunk behind the wheel, and I'm lucky that it ended the way it did, that I was able to calmly get back on a motorcycle a week later. Maybe my hands didn't work quite right yet, but I could still ride, so I'm definitely not the type who, you know, falls off and never gets back on the horse. Instead, I'm quickly looking for where it ran off to. I think it's probably easier to step into the cage. Contrary to what you might think, after losing a fight, you actually come out more motivated because you want to prove something, right? And getting back on a motorcycle after an accident, well, the first time I got back on a bike was exactly a week after the accident, and I started off from here. For about 5 minutes, there's this uncertainty that you're back again, and the thought keeps flashing through your mind that someone might suddenly pull out in front of you and you crash into them. But after a little while, I eventually got out here on the open road, and the incredible chance to thoroughly test out these magnificent Yamaha motorcycles once again, well, that truly makes you completely forget about it for a considerable bit. And then that joy comes back again. Like I said, it was really hard for me to give up that feeling. And I don't think there's any argument that could convince me to quit riding motorcycles. Definitely. Motorcycles are a lifelong adventure. And I think as long as I'm able, I'll keep riding them. Our sports career doesn't last forever, but a motorcycle can sit in your garage, you know, until old age. My motorcycle plans are, you know, basically to wait until the snow melts and the temperature goes up a bit so I can go out riding. That's the fun of it, but, you know, after all these years, I've kind of grown out of riding when it's below 5 degrees with frozen hands and all that. It just doesn't bring me any joy anymore. Just regular getting around. So I'm waiting for the temperature to get up to around 8, 9, 10 degrees so I can head out comfortably. But I do have plans to go on a lot more trips because last year I basically only managed one ride. The trip to Romania was pretty crazy too because 3,000 kilometers in 6 days, my butt was sore, even though the trip itself was great. It would be nice to have a bit more time, like 2 or 3 weeks for a longer trip. For now, I have just one trip planned to ride a motorcycle around Portugal for a bit. But I'm also thinking, together with my friend Łukasz from Traders, since we were just in Romania, maybe this time we could head somewhere around Armenia, take that direction, and see what life is like there. Not for 6 days, but a bit longer, we'll see, because it's coming up soon. Maybe, you know, if this fight goes well, there will be more offers, more opportunities. Besides MMA, I work a lot outside of it, so honestly, I'll do whatever it takes to go on a trip, because for me, there's no better vacation than riding a motorcycle. Yes, I think I would easily find my place somewhere on the track as well. So far, I've only really had the chance to go once, and that was more for learning purposes, just to try out a bit in those conditions. I don't have time for all those speed days that are organized to go and ride. Especially when you have a motorcycle like this, it would be a shame not to take it out on the track, to put it colloquially. And I hope I'll manage to do it this year. I definitely want to give it a try. Maybe not start in any race, but ride in such a way that you know, you scrape your knee somewhere in a corner, and this bike is easily capable of that. And if not, those R1S are still there. You know what? The truth is that the world of motorcycles and the press in general, you know, our life, I say, it's the world of motorcycles, because I don't know. For example, Motomania and Świat Motocykli are two magazines that I always buy somewhere. If I don't have to go by car and I choose the train to get somewhere, then those are always the 2 titles I pick up. I buy them, maybe not regularly every month, but when was the first time? I used to buy motorcycle magazines even when I didn't have a motorcycle. So that really goes back about 15 years easily, when the first automotive magazines, whether about cars or motorcycles, would end up in my hands.